In this video, I want to talk about how relieving trauma for yourself. Now, again, if the trauma is too intense and you feel uncomfortable working with it, then you would come to a practitioner, me or someone else. But often you can work with the trauma, and this is how to do gently. Now, in this video, I'm talking about trauma with a big T. I'm not talking about the little things that are still bothering you. That'll be for another time. But here I'm talking about big things, whether it's an accident or sexual abuse or physical abuse or any of those things. And so the way to come into a trauma gently to begin with is you can just start with, even though this thing happened to me, and you don't even have to name it yet, right? Even though this thing happened to me, I'm safe. Even though this thing happened to me, it's okay for me to relax about this. It's not happening now. Words like that. Even though this thing happened to me, I'm safe. I'm safe. I love those words. I love those words. I'm safe. It's okay to relax about this. They're so powerful. So this thing that happened, this thing that happened, this thing that happened. So you go through that, yeah, letting it all go now. You could also, at the very beginning of that, you could judge, if I was to think about this thing, how high would the score be, right? Without even naming it for yourself. Just like, if I was to think about this, what would the score be? And then see if it came down a little with that first one. The next thing you could maybe say, even though this thing happened to me at this place, right? So again, just bringing it in a little bit. This thing that happened in this place, again, without naming it, right? The same way you just did with the first one, going around and around until that comes down a little bit. And then you could say, you could name it, even though this abuse happened to me, right? And go, I'm still safe. I'm still safe. This abuse, you could even throw in, I'm safe in the middle, this abuse, yeah, or this accident or whatever that is, yeah? So you bring it all the way in until you can actually just tell the whole story from beginning to end. And when you get to that point where you feel like you can safely say it from beginning to end, you don't need a setup. You could just start telling the story while you're using the 9 points of tapping. You don't have to repeat the setup. You don't have to have a setup. You can just tell the story while you're tapping. And that will bring your whole nervous system down in relation to that trauma. So that when you think about it, and again, the memory doesn't go away. It's not like you're all of a sudden have amnesia about it, but you don't have an emotional charge about it anymore. And then it's just like it happened. People describe it like they're watching a screen and the screen is going farther away, or they're just telling a story about a movie they saw or something that happened to someone else, but there's no longer an emotional connection to that trauma. And when you can do that for yourself and release those big, really heavy, heavy things, it's so freeing in life. It just really, really lightens your soul and your mind and your body too. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe.